So I have more examples in case that first video didn't help out. More examples of solving equations with rational coefficients. All right, so once again, I'll start with the easier type. I've got 3/4 times p is equal to 60. So 3/4 times some number is equal to 60. So the first thing I do is I look for the coefficient. How do I know what a coefficient is? Well, it's always going to be right in front, to the left of the variable. Typically, it's to the left. It's right there. So then I ask myself, okay, what's the multiplicative inverse? Well, it's just to flip this around. So instead of 3/4, I make it 4/3. And then I multiply it with that. So by multiplying it, now creates a multiplicative inverse. The whole reason I do that is for this to happen right here. I do that because the 4 and the 4 will cancel out. The 3 and the 3 will cancel out. Right? Just like they did here, leaving me with just one p, or just that letter p there. Over here on this side, I still have to make sure you do it to both sides. So 4/3 times 60 over 1. I can cross cancel the 3 and the 60. 1 goes into 3. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 60 20 times. Then I can multiply and go 4 times 20 is 80. So that's called cross canceling. So now I want to check my work. So let's see. This is the original question. And instead of p, I think the answer is 80. So I'm going to substitute that with 80. I cross cancel here. The 4 and the 80 turn into 1 and 20. 3 times 20 is 60. So sure enough, 60 equals 60. Let's try, I got two more examples for you. So here we go. Let's go with negative 27 over 25x is equal to 9/5, negative 9/5. Okay, so where's my coefficient? Well, first I have to find my variable. It's right here. So my coefficient is right next to it, right to the left. So there's my coefficient. What's the multiplicative inverse? Well, sure enough, I flip it around. Flip these two. Keep it a negative. I don't get rid of the negative, but I do flip the actual numbers. So 25 over 27. That's what I will decide to multiply both sides by. Okay? So I multiply this side, and the whole idea is so that all that goes away. It's going to turn into just a big 1. Okay? Those cancel out. Those cancel out. A negative times a negative is positive. So I get positive 1x. Over on this side, I do some cross canceling. The 27 and the 9 are both divisible by 9. And the 25 and 5 both divisible by 5. So I do that and I end up with 5/3. So if 5/3 is my answer, I want to check to see if I was right. The original question, I take that and I plug in the answer. So here's the original question. I plug in for x what I think the answer is, 5/3. I have to do some multiplying here. I'm going to cross cancel the 5 and 25 and 27 and 3. Make that smaller. And sure enough, I get my final answer there. Okay, let's try one last one. Okay, so I've got mixed numbers this time, and both are negatives, and the variable's on the right. Man, I made it hard. Not really. Let's take a look. Okay, so first, change to improper fractions. That's a good place to start. I do that by 2 times 5 is 20, and then 4 more. So 24 over 5. That goes here, and there's a negative. Equals negative. Okay, I put a negative. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 7 over 2. And then I put my n. All right, first things first. I did that. Next, I got to find my coefficient. Well, coefficient is next to the variable. So it's right there, negative 7/2. The multiplicative inverse is going to now be negative 2/7. I just flip those around. I keep the sign. So negative 2/7 gets multiplied on the one on the left and the one on the right. Both of these numbers, or both of these. Okay, so the goal here is so that I can get my variable by itself, to not have a coefficient other than 1. So that all will cancel out, cross, 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 cross. I get n. Over here, there's nothing I could have cross canceled, so unfortunately I just have to multiply across. Negative 2 times a negative 24 is 48. 7 times 5 is 35. You say, boy, that's a weird answer. I'm not sure that's going to work. Well, I'll take this thing right here, and I'll take it down here, and I'm going to check to see if it works. So I take it right here. There's my n. I replace the n with what I think it is, 48/35. There's that right there. I can do some cross canceling here. So 2 and the 48, that's 24. The 7 and 5, that turns into 5 down here. There's the negative out front. And sure enough, my answer is check. Negative 24 over 5 is the same as negative 24 over 5. All right, so there's 3 more examples. Again, if that hopefully that clarifies any questions you have. If not, again, we'll be working on this all tomorrow in class as well.